Hi everyone, my name is Kylie James. I'm a certified nutritionist here at Kuro Nutrition, and I'm really excited today to introduce you to Tara Bassett. So Tara is a nutritionist that's just started with Kuro, but she is also an occupational therapist as well, and also a yoga teacher. So Tara, thanks so much for coming on today and to share some of your time and your experience with us. So I guess I just wanted to start by asking, why did you decide to be a nutritionist?
Good question, and thanks for having me. So I have always loved working with other people. I really like helping people. I've actually worked the past few years as an occupational therapist, which I love and I still do, working at an acute care hospital. But I wanted to expand my scope a little bit and find different ways that I can help other people. So I decided to look into holistic nutrition. I've always been really interested in healthy eating. I could spend hours at like a health food store, and I came across the program, and I thought that it would be a great way to kind of find a different way to help people.
So you were working for NCCO in the motor vehicle industry as an OT, and then what are you doing at the hospital?
So I'm working at Sunnybrook. I'm kind of all over the place there. So I started off on the trauma unit. I also worked on the neurosurge unit, orthopedics, mental health. So I've kind of been all over the place there, which is really exciting.
Do you like to get around?
Yeah, exactly. No, I like to work with different people, learn about different like populations. So it's been a really great learning experience. And in the hospital, you notice how much nutrition comes into recovery as well. So like people, the length of stay is shorter if people are getting adequate nutrition. And so I wanted to kind of look a little bit deeper into how food could be used as a way to help heal. So that's why I wanted to kind of like combine the two in some way. So I went back to school for holistic nutrition, and now I'm here at Kuro, and I'll also be working as an OT. So I like the combination of everything.
And it is really interesting because, as you know, I'm an occupational therapist as well as a nutritionist. And I also have another clinician that works for us that was an OT, and now she's a nutritionist. And then someone in the past that was an OT working for me that was also a nutritionist. So there's definitely a lot of occupational therapists exploring that nutrition route. So I just wanted to know, because it is a really nice profession to have in conjunction to being a nutritionist and working in the industry with people with brain injuries, chronic pain, mental health. So how do you find those OT skills transferring across as a nutritionist? How do you think that helps you as a nutritionist?
I think they definitely go really well together, because OT in itself is a very holistic profession. Like it looks at the whole person. It really focuses on a person's well-being. It looks at the environment that they're in. It looks at like what's important to them. So I think that they really do go hand in hand. Just living like a well-balanced, fulfilling life is kind of the goal of both of them. As an OT in the hospital, a lot of the times we actually work with people on feeding, because eating is an occupation. It's a something that you have to do every day. And a lot of times after an accident or after a stroke or something like that, people can't feed themselves. So as an OT, I would often be helping people figuring out how to eat. And now I'm just kind of on the other side figuring out what they should eat. So it kind of goes together really well. So I think that they kind of complement each other quite well. And I also, working with people with brain injury, I have to know how to adapt my language to someone who might not be like, there's so much information out there, but information isn't always easily accessible, especially if you have a brain injury, you have trouble focusing on things, you have trouble like remembering things. So being able to kind of adapt my language so that people can actually understand what I'm telling them, and kind of using that so that they can ultimately change their diet and improve their lives in that way.
Yeah, that's great. So I know, like, with so many of our clients, it can be overwhelming when they think, okay, now I have to change my diet as well as, going to all these therapies and these rehab and like, there's a massive life adjustment, right? And then now they've been asked to look at changing their diet. So what's one practical strategy that you could give clients with a traumatic brain injury or that's been in a motor vehicle accident? Like, what's a practical strategy on how to change the diet?
Hmm. I think a strategy, someone with brain injury, but also just anyone coming into like diet change, I would say, is making small sustainable changes. So you might have like a big goal of like, I want to change my diet, I want to be healthier, but that's so big that you can't really achieve it if that's your goal. So you kind of have to break it down into really manageable steps. So I would say, taking that goal and piecing it, working on breakfast or working on getting more water, or just picking a smaller goal that you can actually achieve and then moving on to the next goal. So I think that that's a really good strategy for anyone, but especially someone who might have some cognitive challenges from a brain injury. Oh yeah, keeping like a little food journal, or keeping like external cues for tracking your goals. So keeping a diary, noting what you ate that day, keeping sticky notes maybe somewhere so that you can remember to drink water before your meals or at the beginning of the day, things like that. So those little tips, I think, is what actually makes sustainable changes kind of moving forward.
Awesome. And if you were to give, say, one nutrition strategy to someone with a brain injury, what would you give them?
Like food that they should eat, or
Yeah.
yeah. I would say so. Brain injury is there's a lot of inflammation in the brain with most brain injuries. So I would say sticking with like an anti-inflammatory diet. So at its core, that's eating lots of fruits and vegetables, drinking lots of water, getting lots of protein. And I think one thing that's often overlooked is getting a lot of, or not a lot, but like good quality fat in your diet. So making sure that every meal has a good quality fat, like olive oil, avocado, fish, something like that, because the brain is by weight mostly fat. So you want to make sure that you're giving the brain what it needs to recover.
Yeah, awesome. And I just wanted to, we were just talking before we went on, was about your cool trip that you went to Nicaragua. So you just want to explain to everyone what you did, because it's super cool what you
Yeah,
did. Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, so as part of a placement for school, I had the opportunity to go down to a wellness like retreat center down in Nicaragua. So I did some of my co-op hours there where we were running retreats. People would come by, they wanted to clean up their eating or just learn a bit more about nutrition. So I worked with a nutritionist down there who runs the center. I was essentially her assistant. I would do kind of one-on-one consultations with people. I ran a little fermentation workshop, teach yoga classes, things like that. So just kind of helping people on their healing journey. They would usually come for about a week, and we would kind of tailor it to them. So it was a really cool experience. I'm really glad I got to do it.
That's so awesome. We'll just talk about
Yeah.
like how dangerous it is down there. So I'm glad you came back and that you were all
Yeah.
safe and
It felt very
everything.
safe. It felt very safe, but yes, I'm glad I came back and looked.
Yeah. Awesome, Tara. Well, it's so nice talking to you today, and I'm so happy that you're part of the crew team. And yeah, so if people want to get in contact with you, they can reach out to us at Crew Nutrition. But yeah, you're such an asset to have at Crew, and I'm really looking forward to you taking on more clients. So awesome. Thanks so much, Tara, and everyone else. Take care, be safe, and have a great day.